All right, so the book I'm going to share with you today was interesting. It's the Cautious Traveler's Guide to the Wastelands. So basically, this story happens far in the past, and like the 1800s, okay? And I believe they're crossing into the 1900s is kind of when it's the turn of the century. But there's this train that travels across the wastelands. The reason that it travels across the wastelands, and it's the only way to just get across the wastelands, is because something went terribly wrong. People, started, there was some mutant gene or something that came along, and so the people became strange and could morph into different things. The trees and the land and everything, it's dangerous out there. So they've got these giant walls between two cities, and you can travel straight across, or you can take a circuitous route around the earth the other direction if you want to get somewhere, cross country, or, to a different country. So this is a journey that is taken quite often, but it doesn't take place for a while, and nobody knows why, because something happened, but nobody really knows what happened. We've got these characters that all meet, and because, they're on the train for several days, I think it's like 15 days, if I remember correctly, they are crossing together. They can't go outside. They can't do anything except for hang out with one another or hang out in their rooms, which would get tedious and monotonous. They're even encouraged not to look out the window at the wastelands because it can, make you go crazy. So you'll see that the characters all come from various backgrounds and have different reasons for being there. There's the professor. He's in 3rd class, but he has a secret identity that nobody knows about. There's the train rat. She is a girl whose mother gave birth in 3rd class many years ago, but then died. And so then the baby just became a member of the train. Her name is Wee Wee, Wei Wei. I'm not sure. I don't know. Wee Wee seemed too immature for my 12-year-old brain. So she sees this person on the train, but there's something not quite right about this girl. And she's hidden in this storage area. So she's fascinated with this girl. Wee Wee, like I said, she's the baby, but she's grown up because it's been several years. The captain took her under her wing and raised her, and so did pretty much everybody, all the crew on the train. But then Wee Wee, she just kind of does whatever on the train as needed, and helps out, however, gets to talking to the passengers and helping them. Elena, though, is who she comes across, and Elena is a stowaway. So we see outside the window, it's scary looking, but then if you blink or look away and look back, a lot of times whatever you see out the window is gone and you can't figure it out again. There is an actual Cautious Traveler's Guide to the Wastelands book that they reference. Not a real book, obviously, but that's what this story is supposed to be based after, and they reference the book. And the writer of the book, everybody thinks went crazy at some point and just disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to him. Elena, as it turns out, knows more than she says. But he once looked out the window and saw a girl out the window that looked just like Elena. So he was on a constant trek looking for her. Like I said, it's all just quite strange and eerie. But everybody's trying to live their lives. Everybody's got their own secrets. There's a girl on the train whose father was blamed for whatever went wrong on the last trip. And they said it was the glass, that he's the glass maker and he made glass incorrectly. But she's on a journey to discover and expose the company. The company is basically in charge of everything, and they run everything. They're the monopoly, the government, whatever, that runs pretty much the world. So we've got the company, and she's out to expose them because she doesn't believe that her father was at fault. So the passengers basically all work together, unbeknownst to them, to try to figure out what's going on, to solve the problems that are going on board, as well as the problems that are going on with one another. And then there is a problem. The train ends up water, and so they're running out of water. Everybody's running low. The third class passengers get last dibs at water and get much, much less. There's 2 company men on the train. They get as much as they want. The first class passengers are griping because even though they get more than third class, they still don't get as much as they want. They can't shower or bathe because of the water shortage. And then there's something blocking the track, so they must take a detour. Luckily, I guess, the company had been working on creating additional track systems in the Wastelands, but then abandoned the idea. And so they have to derail and reroute onto a different track and just hope that the track is there the way it says it is on the map. And then hopefully they find a water source. And at some point, the captain has to get out of the train to make sure that the water is safe. She volunteers as tribute, basically. But then a scientist on board takes advantage of that stop as his chance to collect some data as well. So chaos just breaks loose because of all the choices that the people on this train are making. And somehow they don't all get cabin fever. They all still stick to their true goals of what they intended to get on there and do. So it's an interesting and odd story. I enjoyed it for the most part, but I wouldn't call it one of my favorite books. I would say it was interesting and creatively written, but I could easily have read something else. However, if you're a fan of trains and dystopian novels, it's still interesting to check out and read and just kind of see what this author's plan was. So I did enjoy it for that aspect of it. As you read, I hope that you enjoy it as well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Happy reading!